The FIA has just dropped explosive new evidence from the Abu Dhabi 2025 Grand Prix, threatening to overturn Lando Norris Championship and sending shockwaves through the paddock. Max Verstappen fans are on edge, as this revelation suggests the title could flip depending on the FIA's ruling, creating one of the most dramatic finales in recent F1 history. The twist? Norris went off track to avoid a collision with Yuki Tsunoda, but the telemetry and high-speed footage indicate that the maneuver may have offered a performance advantage, putting the championship outcome in the balance. And the fallout? Teams, pundits, and fans are frantically analyzing every frame and telemetry readout, as the FIA's final decision could completely reshape the 2025 F1 season. Subscribe now, you cannot afford to miss a single second of this blockbuster championship drama and the high-stakes FIA investigation. The Abu Dhabi 2025 Grand Prix erupted into chaos following the FIA's release of new evidence regarding Lando Norris' controversial overtake on Yuki Tsunoda. What initially seemed like a standard race maneuver quickly escalated into a situation with championship-defining consequences. The off-track move was scrutinized intensely, with every frame of telemetry and high-speed footage analyzed to assess whether Norris gained an unfair advantage. Telemetry readings provided a detailed picture of Norris' performance during the overtake. Throttle input, steering angles, brake pressure, and wheel speeds were recorded and evaluated. The data suggested that leaving the track allowed for a subtle increase in exit speed from the corner, providing Norris with a performance benefit that could have influenced his lap times and ultimately the race outcome. High-speed video footage offered critical visual confirmation. Frame-by-frame analysis showed how Norris' trajectory minimized tire scrubbing and maximized momentum onto the following straight. This visual evidence corroborated the telemetry data, making it clear that the off-track maneuver was not only a defensive action but also one that could enhance performance under high-speed conditions. Driver context and situational awareness played a central role in the FIA's evaluation. Norris had to react in real time to Tsunoda's defensive position, choosing to go off-track to avoid collision. While safety was a primary concern, the data revealed that the maneuver also carried measurable competitive gains. This dual aspect, safety versus advantage, was central to the FIA's deliberations. Consistency of the off-track advantage was also analyzed. Engineers reviewed laps preceding and following the overtake to determine whether the performance gain was repeatable. The findings indicated that leaving the track allowed for consistently higher exit speeds and better cornering stability, reinforcing the argument that the move could materially affect championship points. The reaction within the paddock was immediate and intense. Rival teams, media, and fans dissected every piece of footage and telemetry, trying to gauge the potential impact on the championship. Red Bull strategists analyzed scenarios in which Verstappen could benefit if Norris received a penalty, adding layers of tension and drama to the season finale. Finally, this incident highlights the meticulous nature of modern Formula One oversight. Every maneuver, particularly one with championship implications, is scrutinized using telemetry, simulations, and high-speed footage. Norris' off-track overtake illustrates how milliseconds, trajectory choices, and split-second decisions can alter a season. The FIA's evidence set the stage for a potentially dramatic conclusion, leaving fans and teams alike on the edge of their seats. The FIA's investigation into Lando Norris' controversial Abu Dhabi overtake produced an extensive set of raw telemetry and performance data. Every parameter of the McLaren throttle inputs, steering angles, brake pressures, wheel speeds, and tire loads was meticulously recorded. This allowed FIA engineers to reconstruct the maneuver in detail and quantify the precise advantage Norris may have gained by leaving the track. Mechanical simulations were used alongside the telemetry data to replicate the off-track maneuver under controlled conditions. Engineers modeled tire loading, suspension response, and aerodynamic forces to understand how the trajectory affected cornering and acceleration. These simulations confirmed that the off-track line provided a measurable performance gain, highlighting the significance of even split-second decisions in Formula One. High-speed video provided visual confirmation of the telemetry and simulation data. Multiple camera angles captured Norris' trajectory, showing how leaving the track minimized tire scrubbing and allowed for smoother corner exit. Frame-by-frame analysis indicated that the maneuver offered repeatable advantages, essential when considering potential penalties and championship implications. Driver behavior was evaluated in parallel with the mechanical data. Norris throttle modulation, steering inputs, and braking patterns were analyzed to determine how much skill and control were required to execute the maneuver safely. The FIA considered the balance between avoiding a collision and gaining a competitive advantage, as both factors are central in evaluating the fairness of the action. The consistency of the off-track advantage was another key focus. Analysts reviewed multiple laps to determine if leaving the track consistently resulted in higher exit speeds and better stability. Findings suggested that the maneuver produced repeatable benefits, reinforcing the case for a possible points deduction or other sanction, which could influence the final championship outcome. The paddock's reaction was immediate and intense. Rival teams, analysts, and fans scrutinized leaked telemetry and video, debating potential scenarios for the championship. Red Bull and Verstappen strategists calculated how a penalty could swing the title, creating dramatic tension and speculation across the F1 community, and highlighting the high stakes of the Abu Dhabi finale. Finally, the integration of telemetry, simulations, high-speed video, and driver input illustrates the FIA's meticulous approach to ensuring fairness. Every aspect of Norris' maneuver was analyzed with precision, demonstrating how modern Formula One relies on detailed data to determine competitive integrity. This raw data not only informs potential sanctions but also provides transparency, showing how critical analysis can shape the outcome of a championship. In modern Formula One, technical scrutiny determines the fairness and outcome of every maneuver, and the FIA's evaluation of Lando Norris Abu Dhabi overtake is a prime example. Detailed telemetry recorded steering angles, throttle inputs, brake pressures, wheel speeds, and tire loads, enabling engineers to quantify any advantage gained by leaving the track. This data formed the backbone of the FIA's technical assessment. Analysis of telemetry revealed that Norris' off-track trajectory provided a measurable increase in corner exit speed, allowing him to carry momentum more effectively onto the straight. Engineers calculated the impact on lap times, showing that the maneuver was not purely defensive but offered a tangible performance benefit, critical in evaluating potential penalties and championship implications. Mechanical simulations were run alongside telemetry to model suspension behavior, tire loads, and aerodynamic flow during the overtake. By simulating multiple scenarios, the FIA could predict the effect of the maneuver under various conditions. The simulations confirmed that the off-track line consistently improved cornering stability and acceleration, providing reproducible advantages that factored heavily into the ruling. High-speed video footage offered visual verification of the telemetry and simulations. Frame-by-frame analysis showed Norris' trajectory and how leaving the track minimized tire scrubbing while allowing smoother cornering. The alignment of visual evidence with data confirmed that the maneuver provided a repeatable performance benefit, solidifying the technical case for a potential sanction. Driver behavior was analyzed to understand the human component. Norris' steering, throttle, and braking inputs were studied in conjunction with telemetry to assess how much control he exerted to execute the maneuver safely. The FIA weighed the balance between avoiding a collision and gaining competitive advantage, which is central to understanding intent versus outcome in high-speed racing. Environmental factors were incorporated into the analysis. Track temperature, wind speed, and tire conditions were examined to ensure that the performance advantage was not incidental. This multifaceted technical evaluation ensured that any ruling would be based on reproducible, measurable performance gains rather than situational anomalies. Finally, the integration of telemetry, mechanical simulations, high-speed video, and driver analysis demonstrates the depth of FIA oversight. Every aspect of Norris' maneuver was scrutinized to ensure regulatory compliance and fairness. This technical assessment illustrates how precision, data, and engineering analysis play a decisive role in modern Formula One, determining championship outcomes at the smallest margins. The FIA's revelation regarding Lando Norris' off-track overtake has unleashed a wave of dramatic consequences across the Formula One paddock. Teams, analysts, and fans immediately began calculating how a potential penalty could alter the championship standings, realizing that a single decision could potentially crown Max Verstappen as the 2025 champion. The suspense created a tense atmosphere unmatched in recent F1 history. Norris himself faced unprecedented pressure following the FIA's disclosure. Public scrutiny intensified as pundits, commentators, and fans debated whether his maneuver was primarily defensive or whether it conferred a competitive advantage. This scrutiny created a media storm around Norris, adding psychological stress on top of the ongoing technical and regulatory evaluations. Red Bull strategists and Max Verstappen's camp quickly moved into contingency mode. They analyzed every telemetry detail, scenario, and points permutation, anticipating how the FIA's potential sanction could influence the championship outcome. This real-time strategic calculation highlighted how finely balanced championship battles have become, with a single overtake potentially swinging the title. The FIA's decision-making process was not limited to the single maneuver. It involved precedent and regulatory interpretation. Officials considered the implications of sanctioning a driver for going off track under unavoidable circumstances, weighing safety against competitive gain. The ruling would set a critical precedent for future seasons, influencing how teams and drivers approach similar split-second decisions in high-stakes races. Fans in the wider Formula One community dissected every available piece of evidence. Social media exploded with speculation, expert analysis, and heated debates. The championship tension created widespread engagement, demonstrating the global fascination with split-second racing decisions and the nuanced balance between legality and performance in modern Formula One. Norris' mental and emotional state became a topic of discussion as well. The intense focus on his every decision, combined with uncertainty over potential penalties, created a high-pressure scenario for the young driver. Maintaining composure while under such scrutiny is a challenge, and this added human element highlighted the psychological demands faced by elite drivers in the heat of championship contention. Finally, this dramatic twist underscores the razor-thin margins that define Formula One championships. A single off-track maneuver, analyzed through telemetry, high-speed video, and driver input, can determine the outcome of an entire season. The FIA's evidence and potential ruling created a narrative where milliseconds, strategy, and technical precision could decide who ultimately lifts the trophy, leaving fans, teams, and drivers alike on the edge of their seats.